We're going to just kind of go round robin here.
Should I introduce myself officially for the record, or?
Sure.
I don't know where you are in your proceedings. I've been sequestered.
We're cash.
You're cash?
Yes, you're okay.
Am I overdressed?
No, you're
Oh,
What particular aspect of your background or experience makes you the best candidate for the role of Lake Worth City Manager?
Well, again, thank you for having me. Good afternoon. I'm Jamie Titcomb, interim town manager in the town of Lake Park and candidate for the city of Lake Worth. I have a pretty extensive background that bridges over multiple areas, including currently city administration, League of Cities work for many, many years dealing with all the cities and city officials and managers in the county. I spent 20 years in private practice. I've been involved in association, trade associations statewide and on a national level. And I come from the creative world, in the private practice area of my background. I would say the thing that makes me the most ideal candidate for what I understand the needs of this city and the bigger picture of management in this area is my ability as a communicator and a collaborator. I have a knack for bringing people together, and I have a knack for working with people of all different interests and ideas and persuasions, and helping them find ways to communicate with each other, to leverage their talents, their skills, and their resources, and collaborate with each other, and improve basically the outcomes of efficacy and productivity and efficiency in making an organization a stronger brand and more effective vehicle to get things done.
Thank you. Commissioner Mulvey?
We were at the meeting last evening and
That's a
learned
late
about
one.
the shortfall. What would you do to make up the $1 million budget shortfall that we're expecting next year?
I assume you're talking about the projection of the expenses over the revenues that was shown on that bar chart with getting progressively worse each year. I would reflect, looking at that chart and looking at the data, that the picture that was demonstrated through that illustration is a calculation that's based on projections of revenues based on what we know today, and then in addition to that, the projection of expenditures as we know them today. Well, clearly there's a differential there, and it's $1 million projected in the next year. And I would work on bringing the expenditures down first and foremost. I would also look for inefficiencies in the global financial picture of the city in order to reduce, to bring that red bar down on that chart that was demonstrated in the workshop last night. And of course, I would look for opportunities for revenue enhancement, but not through perhaps what people would see as traditional methods of raising taxes or even for that matter service fees or whatever. I would look for more enterprise-oriented increases where revenues for fee for service, that type of thing, were to enhance the revenue side. As far as the expense side, I think that's where the most attention would need to come. I have a strong feeling that if there's a little bit of focus on back to basics and we look at the things that need to be done, first and foremost, the priorities of delivering key and core municipal urban services to the constituency and taking care of the basic infrastructure and doing the things that we have to do by covenants with our residents. We can focus on that first, and then we can analyze the additional nice things that we might consider working on, and perhaps delay them in some cases to make sure we're taking care of the core needs first, making sure we're balancing the budget. And until we know that we can increase revenues because the economy improves or because there are other fees and fee-for-service situations that will improve the bottom line, we just have to live within our means till we get there.
Commissioner Rosso?
The city of Lake Worth has collective bargaining agreements with 3 unions. What is your approach to working with the unions?
I love unions. I had 6 of them in Boynton Beach as an elected official. I have 2 of them, I think, now in Lake Park. I had 3 in North Palm. And I've been working on union and collective bargaining and pension and union-related issues for years on the policy side. I would not treat collective bargaining employees any different than regular employees. They all deserve the same equity, the same fairness, the same communications and interactivity. There is kind of a intangible relationship between what you establish for your collective bargaining with employees and your general employees, in which you have to keep balance and fairness and equity in the remuneration, the benefits, some of the working amenities that all employees expect. As far as working with the union elements, I would meet with them. I would openly and honestly communicate with them about what their concerns are, what their issues are, what they're looking for in the future, and try to find a pathway that both is responsible fiduciary to the city, as well as looking for points of negotiation and agreement that we could pick them with in terms of some of their goals and objectives over the long term to give them job satisfaction and the appropriate pay and benefits that any employee would want for satisfaction in their job environment.
Commissioner McCoy?
You live close by, so I'm guessing you're aware of the area that we call the Park of Commerce here in Lake Worth. And you may be aware that we did a study, or sponsored a study recently, to look at the infrastructure needed to turn that into a actually going Park of Commerce. And the numbers that came out of that were on the order of, I forget, in different phases, but all told upwards of 10 million, maybe even toward 15. We know what needs to be done in terms of infrastructure. We know what it costs, which is a lot. We're $1 million short in our current general revenue fund. What would you see as funding mechanisms to get that going?
Well, to clarify before I answer that directly, I would say it would be critically important that this commission and this community have a clearly defined vision for the outcome of the industrial park area, as would be said for any project or any major vision of the community and its big issues and problems. Assuming everybody wants to get to the same place on making the industrial park west of 95 there, any future model prototype industrial job center economic development zone for the community, we would map out and discuss and look at, one, our resources that we could contribute from the city and prescribe that over a period of time. 2, we look at obviously various forms of grants, grant funding, state and intergovernmental partnerships, other agencies that could bring resources to the table. I would certainly have conversations with everybody from the World Trade Center to the Business Development Board to the Economic Development Department of the state, and with our congressional delegation, everybody else, to look for all the resources that are available to bring and leverage to help realize the vision as the city would like it to unfold and become over time. Specifically, it would be dependent on what grants we were able to get, what partnerships we were able to forge, and what various stakeholders could bring to the table to ultimately fund it to its fullest outcome and conclusion. But I would follow the direction of the commission, the vision of where you want it to be, what you want it to look like at the end of the process, and we would map out a strategy and find financial partners to get us there.
Thank you. Commissioner Maxwell?